Let me start with something that might surprise you. When AI gives you a bad answer, a generic response, a hallucination, something completely off base, the problem is almost never the AI. AI isn't stupid, it's not broken, and definitely it's not overhyped. The problem is the instruction you gave it. Welcome back to TechAutopsy, where today we are going to dissect the most common prompting mistake beginners make and why they make AI feel completely useless even though it isn't. Here's what most beginners believe when AI gives them a bad answer. AI is inconsistent. One day it's great, the next day it's terrible. AI hallucinates randomly. It just makes stuff up for no reason. I need a better model. If I switch to ChatGPT from Claude, my result will improve. None of this is true. AI is actually extremely consistent. It doesn't hallucinate randomly. It hallucinates when you leave gaps in your instruction, and switching model won't fix a bad prompt. Here's the reality. AI is very literal. It follows instructions exactly, even when those instructions are unclear, incomplete, or contradictory. The problem isn't the AI, it's what we are telling it to do. Here's the core idea I want you to understand for this entire episode. AI does not fail at thinking. AI is actually very good at following clear instructions. What AI fails at is guessing what you meant when your instructions are unclear. And guessing, that's where all mistakes happen. Hallucinations, generic answer, wrong tone, and irrelevant information. Every time you write a bad prompt, you are forcing the AI to fill in the gap on its own. And when it fills those gaps, it makes assumptions about what you need. Sometimes those assumptions are right, usually they are not. This episode is about closing those gaps. So the AI stops guessing and starts executing. Let's start with the most common mistake, vague prompt. When you type something like explain DevOps or tell me about fitness, you think you are being clear. But from the AI's perspective, you have left everything open. Explain DevOps to whom? A beginner who has never heard the term? A hiring manager evaluating candidate? A DevOps engineer looking for advanced techniques? At what depth? A one sentence summary, a 5-page guide, a technical deep dive. And for what purpose? To learn, to teach someone else, to make a decision. AI has to guess all of that. And when it guesses, the answer almost always lands somewhere in a generic middle ground that doesn't actually help anyone. Vague prompt produces vague output every single time. The fix is simple. Add two things, purpose and audience. Instead of explain DevOps, you write explain DevOps to a college student preparing for technical interview, focusing on core concepts and in simple language. That's one sentence. And in that one sentence, you have told the AI who this is for, why they need it, what level to use. Same AI, same topic, but now the guessing is gone. AI does not need to figure out who's reading or why they care. You already told it. And that single change transforms the entire output. The second major mistake is leaving out context. Here's what beginners don't realize. AI has no memory of your life. It does not know your background, your industry, your current project, or what you are trying to accomplish. Sometimes it guesses you are a beginner. Sometimes it assumes you are an expert. And sometimes it treats you like a manager and sometimes like a developer. And those assumptions, they are almost never right. Context isn't extra information. Context is the foundation. Without it, every answer the AI gives you is built on guesswork. The fix is to anchor every prompt with a context block. Here's a simple template you can use. I am, your role and your background. I am working on your current project or situation. I need the specific output you want. Because why you need it. For example, I am a product manager at a SaaS company. I am working on a feature prioritization decision. I need a framework for evaluating feature because we have limited development resource. That's context. And once the AI has that context, it stops inventing assumption and start giving you answers tailored to your actual situation. Context isn't optional. It's always mandatory. The third mistake sounds counterintuitive, but it's one of the most damaging, giving the AI too much freedom. Beginner often thinks that phrases like write whatever you think is best or be creative will unlock better result. Like you are giving the AI permission to shine. But here's what actually happens. Unlimited freedom creates oververbosity. The AI writes way more than you need it because it doesn't know where to stop. It creates hallucination. When the AI has too many directions it can go, it sometimes invents detail to fill in the space. And it creates style mismatches. The tone, format, and level of detail end up being completely wrong for what you actually needed. Freedom without boundaries does not produce better output. It produces chaos. The fix is to add constraint, and this is how professional prompt. Constraint does not reduce the AI intelligence, they focus it. Things like word limit, keep it under 150 words, format rule, use bullet points only, no paragraph, exclusion like avoid jargon, don't include historical background. When you set these boundaries, the AI stops wandering through every possible direction and focuses entirely on what you actually need. Constraints aren't restriction, they are precision tool. And the more constraint you add, the sharper the output becomes. And the more constraint you add, the sharper the output becomes. The fourth mistake is not specifying format. And this one makes even good content unusable. When you don't tell the AI what shape the output should take, it defaults to paragraph, long, dense paragraph. And here's the problem. AI loves and here's the problem. AI loves paragraph. It can generate them endlessly. But humans, we don't read that way. We scan, we skim, we look for the information we need and move on. When the AI gives you a wall of text, even if the context is perfect, you won't use it. It's too much work to extract what matters. The information might be right, but the delivery makes it wrong. The fix is simple. Always choose the shape before you ask the question. Do you need bullet points? Use them when you want something scannable and quick to digest. Do you need a table? Use it when you are comparing actions or organizing data. Do you need step-by-step instruction? Use numbered step when someone needs to execute a process. Do you need a paragraph? Use it only when the depth and narrative actually matters. Same context, different container, and the container is what determines whether you will actually use the answer or just ignore it. Format isn't decoration. Format is usability. The fifth mistake is trying to okay. The fifth mistake is trying to do multiple tasks in a single prompt. Beginners do this all the time. They write one long prompt that says, explain this concept, compare it to alternatives, give me examples, write some code, and suggest optimization. That's 5 different tasks, and the AI will try to do all of them. But here's what happens. The quality drop across the board. The explanation is rushed. The comparison is shallow. The examples are generic and code has bugs. The optimization will be very weak. You will get a little bit of everything and none of it is actually good enough to use. AI isn't built to multitask like that, and neither are humans, by the way. The fix is to split those tasks into separate prompts, and this is how experts use AI. Instead of asking questions for explanation, comparison, example, code, and optimization all at once, break it into sequence. Prompt 1. Explain the concept clearly. Prompt 2. Now compare that concept to these alternatives. Prompt 3. Give me 3 practical examples. Each prompt gets a full attention. Each answer is high quality. And you can course correct along the way if one of the answer isn't quite right. Think of AI like a junior team member. You wouldn't walk up to them and say, do 5 things at once. You would give them one clear task, let them finish, and then give them the other one. Chaining prompt beats cramping every single time. The sixth mistake is one of the biggest gap between beginners and expert, trusting the first answer. When beginners get a response from AI, they treat it like final draft. Either use, either they use it as it is or they give up and think the AI failed. But experts, they iterate. They take the first answer and refine it. Good, but make it shorter. This is close, but change the tone. Add more examples here. Remove the background section. AI gets dramatically better with follow-up prompt. The first answer is rarely the best answer. It's the starting point. And if you are not iterating, you are leaving quality on the table. The seventh and the final mistake is model hopping. Constantly switching between ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, thinking that the next model will magically fix your result. It won't. If your prompt is vague, every model will give you vague answer. If your prompt has no context, every model will make assumption. If your prompt has no constraint, every model will ramble. The model isn't the problem, the instruction is. Better prompts beat model upgrades every single time. Once you learn how to write clear instruction, you will get great result from any model because they are all responding to the same thing, what you tell them to do. Here's what I want you to take away from this episode. AI is a mirror. It reflects the quality of your instruction. If your prompt is messy, unclear, vague, or incomplete, the output will be too. If your prompt is clear, specific, and well structured, the output transforms. This is the single most shift you can make in how you use AI. Stop blaming the tool. Start improving your instruction. You control the quality, not the model, not the company that built it. You. And once you accept that, everything changes. That's episode 7 of TechAutopsy. You now understand the 7 most common mistakes beginners make, and more importantly, you know how to fix every single one of them. In the next episode, we are going to level up. We will build expert level prompt framework from scratch, the kind that professionals use to get a consistent, high quality result every single time. If this episode saved your hours of frustration, hit like, share it with someone who kept saying AI doesn't work for me, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. See you in next autopsy room. Thank you.